All right. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Kevin from Guys on the Ground in collaboration with Counterculture Inc. And we got our first guest on the show. If you want to introduce yourself, please, Kevin.
Hey guys, Kevin Peach, Hard Target Fitness, my Instagram. A cop for 4 years after being a Marine for about 10. An old infantry guy, so all my Marines out there eat crayons and move on.
Hell yeah, I like that shit. And I'm in Tyler. That's my IG handle, but Tyler in collaboration with Counterculture. Yeah.
All right, sweet. So we're going to start the show off with a more funny video. Let me bring up here. I think Copville recently released this today. Look at this. I'm getting better at this. That's loud.
Yeah, the UFC edit in there was fucking great.
So good.
Perfect.
So it looked like it was like a residential alarm drop, which is, I mean, very, very common in our work. And so a female officer came across the mirror and scared her.
She was quick with it. I'm telling you that. Quick.
She was. I don't know. Did you have? I mean, you've had a lot of these calls, right, Kevin?
Oh yeah. I mean, maybe not so much in the house. Most of the ones that we had in the house was like same thing, an alarm. But the security guard would, if it was like a golf course, hey, I already checked the house. What?
Right.
You ain't got a gun? No. What would have happened if something would have happened to you? I called you guys. Sweet. You know what I mean? Like, not really. It was more of just like checking doors, make sure everything's locked. If a door was unlocked, I called for at least 2 more units. We have 3 on entry. Clear the house. Try to get in touch with the key holder, and that was really it.
Right. So I work in like an upper middle class city, and there's some pretty big houses. And it was around Halloween time, and me and my buddy were kind of same thing. Residential alarm drop. You find a door open, go in, and we're in the basement. It's a big basement, and my buddy opens this door. And there's like a huge Frankenstein, like blow up Frankenstein. He goes, dude, I almost shot it. I'm like, I wouldn't have blamed you.
Right. Just like a mirror, right? Oh, mirror. Shoot, mirror.
Oh, man. Good. So we're going to go into, Kevin, you were involved in an officer-involved shooting. What year was that?
22. Yeah, 22.
22, so a few years ago.
And Kevin, you're in what state?
I'm in Ohio. Oh, sorry, other Kevin.
Oh, yeah, 2 Kevins.
Kevin 2.
Yeah, there we go.
Everybody just calls me Peach. It's just
all right. That works. That works.
Peach works. That works. 2 Kevins, 1 show, or something.
Yeah. Two Kevins, 1 show. What? So, what state are you in, Peach?
Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Gunshine State. You know what I mean? DeSantis.
I've never heard that. That's a good one.
Yeah, I was telling you I'm on the bomb team, and when you go to school, it's a nationwide school. Only one place in the nation.
You go to one in Pensacola?
No, it's at in Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay.
And I met quite a few Florida deputies, and you guys definitely like lived up to your reputation, just being like backwoods, just hillbilly types. They would shut the strip clubs. Like, it was hilarious.
It gets wild. You know what I mean? It gets wild. You definitely bring in some pennies to the strip club. Some ugly ass strippers in Florida.
Make it so, Peach, go. What agencies have you worked for, and how long?
Yep. So I worked at right when I got out of the Marine Corps. I took terminal leave, and I went right into the academy. I got hired by Indian River County Sheriff's Office. I did that for about 3.5-ish years, and I was at Martin County Sheriff's Office for about 2 minutes, like 4 months.
So
yeah, that's
real quick for you guys, because I'm not active law enforcement anymore. Like, something I find interesting. Why from? Because I feel like you see it more up here, up north. Like, what I don't get from south to north, like, some places like up here, sheriffs don't really have this. They don't have the same rights and responsibilities as police do. Sheriffs up here get a different certification in Pennsylvania. and then police do the actual policing. I guess that's something I never was able to wrap my mind around. Do you guys maybe know why? Kevin, you're in Ohio. Pete, you're in Florida. Do you get my kind of question there? Like, what is?
Yeah.
I guess
I
to me,
mean-
I just don't understand how it's just so different. I mean, I know it's different states, but sorry to jump in there with the question. That's something I always
No,
found
you're
interesting.
You're good. It's just discuss it. So I know in Ohio, at least in the county I live in, Cuyahoga, the sheriff's department does a lot of the specialty jobs. Like they'll track the sex offenders, they'll track the guys who have ankle monitors. They have there's a different jail unit. And then
They do
they'll
some of that same stuff here, Kevin. Similarly, like sheriffs help out at central booking. They go on fugitive task force stuff.
Mhm.
They'll do stuff like that. But like your everyday
Yeah.
policing here, they don't do any of that.
Yeah, they'll do a little bit of that in the areas that don't have like the small cities and towns that don't have police departments.
Okay.
In Florida here, it's so you have, and I know, for example, like up in North Carolina and sometimes even in like some places in Jersey, some places you have to go to corrections first for X amount of time before you go on the road as a sheriff's deputy.
Okay.
Here in Florida, our sheriff's deputies run the jail, so that's your correction side, and then you'll have like guys who get dual certified who are corrections deputies, and then also your LE guys. When it comes down to us, we just have more. We have helicopters, we have more dogs, we just have more ass to give than anything else.
Now, Peach, though, in Florida with the sheriff's deputies dynamic, there are deputies then that are pretty much like, again, maybe this question's going to make me sound retarded, and that's okay. Like, when
I don't know
think
you
of
know enough yet to make that determination, but we'll get there.
But when you say down there, deputies wise, so like there's actual sheriff's deputies out pulling people over and stuff like that. That I would see up here in like Pennsylvania. I guess what I don't get then in Florida is why not just call everyone police? Why?
So you have your different jurisdictions, right? So we have FHP, so our Florida Highway Patrol. I mean, it's no GSP, but we're getting there, right? These dudes are getting wild. They can really pull anybody over anywhere. When it says Florida Highway Patrol, they usually do like US 1, which is like a major highway-ish that runs up the coast, 95, which is our interstate, turnpike, stuff like that. But they can literally pull over state roads wherever you want.
Same up here with PSP, PA State Police, same way.
Exactly. So that's our state police. Then you go a little bit smaller. There's probably another agency in there, another state agency or something like that. But it comes out of the deputies. I have county. Anything within that county, and you'll see like in the shooting I was involved in, we went into another county. I still have jurisdiction. I can do whatever I need to do. I can make an arrest. I can do all those different things. The only part that comes in where if I go into another jurisdiction is I'm going to need a deputy from that jurisdiction to come meet me and then go to the jail with me so I can write on their affidavit or if they help me with that kind of aspect of it. There's actually a call I went to a couple years ago in Bureau's jurisdiction, police jurisdiction. I heard it come out on the radio. I was like, I'm going to go to that. It was a veteran. He said, I'm going to shoot anybody who comes up to my house, this, and that. I get on the radio. I was like, hey, tell Bureau, disregard, do not show up to this call. I can do that because it's not me swinging my dick around, none of that stuff, but I'm a veteran. I don't know if they have any veterans showing up. They might have, who knows. But I'm like, I can go take care of this. So I get there. Christopher Lester actually was there as well on this call. We roll up to the end of the street. I literally watched Vero with shields walk up to a Marines of like 60 years old with their guns out, stand, and they're facing actually the wrong way. That for whatever reason, they face the opposite address. So their back is to his front window. And I'm like, hey, did you guys tell Vero to break it down? Like, don't show up? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. Come to find out, the guy actually was at his other address. We just kind of looked up. He wouldn't give his address. We looked up his name and found out his address was like his sister's house. But I rolled up. I'm like, hey, guys, like, first off, that's the house. They're like, oh, and they turn their shields around. Like, he's not here. And you want to get in a gunfight with a Marine for what reason? Like, why not just call him out? Or there's so many other ways of doing it. It's just an example. I can show up on any scene and be like, even if the chief of police was on a call, hey, sir, I got it from here. You're free to go. Cool. And they would have to, by law, leave because I'm a deputy sheriff, represent the sheriff of that county. There's plenty of times we go to Hurricane Relief, we go to Fort Myers and all these different other places. We get ominous. you can now conduct business in this county. Happens all the time.
Oh,
A lot of
okay.
marshal guys,
Okay.
task force guys, DEA, they work regions. So I think the Southwest Task Force or whatever it's called here. I wasn't cool enough to be in that club, but they can go from like Miami or West Palm all the way up to here and do search warrants. They're just your marshals.
That makes sense.
Yep. But police,
Yeah.
again, the reason why they have them is just because it's just jurisdiction wise. They have the city, they handle their calls in there. If they need resource us, we'll send them a dog. We'll send them everything we have. Like, yeah, we are part of us.
Yeah.
We just can't do anything outside of that city. Most deputies or most counties around here usually have more leeway. Like Keith Pearson, like that's where I live. I live in Fort Pierce. That was my sheriff for the short amount of time he was. Dude's a savage, like just savage. I met him, got a coin from him, and everything like that. And
Nice.
just an awesome dude. But again,
did you guys see the video that just came out about a few days ago of the it was a police department in Florida, and I just pulled it up here, that killed a veteran because he was.
Is it the Air Force one? Because that video, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pro police, but that video,
All right,
if it's the one I'm thinking of, that shit pissed me off watching it.
All right, I just pulled it up here. Let me get it. All right, I'll pull it up because this is a good one to talk about because this is rough. This is a rough one.
Yeah,
a man who was shot and killed by Hillsborough deputies yesterday while carrying an assault rifle and wearing tactical gear. Vincent Morin was seen.
Okay, this isn't the video I was
road
thinking of, Kevin. This one's
Road
new to me.
and Causeway Boulevard in Brandon. Tonight we are learning he was a U.S. Army veteran. Fox 13's Kylie Jones spoke to some of his friends today and joins us live with what they're telling us. Kylie.
Yeah, and some of his friends tell me that he had struggled in recent years with PTSD. Now, they say they don't fault law enforcement for acting in this situation, but they say this incident wasn't like the person that they knew. Right here. These are the moments Hillsborough County deputies drew their guns Wednesday morning as a man walked down the street suited in tactical gear with a rifle. The scene shut down part of the road near Causeway Boulevard. That man was 34-year-old Vincent Morin. For those who knew Morin, it was difficult for them to take in.
He was not a hostile man by any means.
Colton Olam spent years with Morin in combat. He says Morin was a retired U.S. Army Staff Sergeant who served in multiple deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan.
The Army and the military was his life. That was what he was dedicated to. That was his niche and what his passion was. So when he was discharged due to medical injuries, that I believe that tore him apart.
Olam says Morin had struggled with PTSD since leaving the military.
PTSD is what really was the main roots of this entire incident, I think.
On Wednesday morning, deputies said Morin ignored orders to drop his gun.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun now! Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Ultimately shooting and killing him.
Police have to do what they have to do given the scenario and everything. I'm not blaming them for anything. Florida's not an open carry state. I understand that. There was school children out and whatnot.
Whether
All right, that's a rough one for me because
I didn't know that about Florida as far as the open carry thing goes, which I guess to me I find
we can open carry. There's only
maybe did that guy misspeak in the video then?
No, so we can only open carry to and from fishing, or while engaging, hunting.
Okay.
So like those type of activities, right? So when I'm on my boat, if I'm about to go fishing when we get done here, guns can be on my hip. I live in not the greatest kind of area, so like I can have a gun on my hip if I'm walking. There's a guy, armed fisherman, just a terror for police. Like there's videos on him up in Daytona. He literally park 3 miles away from a pier and walk down the beach, AR-15 pistol, right? Or I think maybe regular rifle, and walk with a fishing pole, or he'll just carry a piece of string like this long and a hook. Yeah, but like cops are like, oh my God. And me, like if that happened to me, I'm like, hey man, like I get the rule, like, I got it. I know that, but like we have 50 people calling. I'm gonna come look and make sure, hey yeah, man, you're good. Like have a good day. but
Sure.
he gets a lot of lawsuits and he gets a lot of stuff. People turned up for it. So
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah,
It's like,
that
my
video-
question in that video is like, was the guy, what threat was he posing to the officers?
hostile act, hostile intent.
But was the gun pointed at them?
It'll come out eventually. I mean, multiple. If I'm giving somebody multiple commands, right, and your hand is just resting, and it is proven that if I hold my rifle up at you, like
Yeah.
on safe, ready to go, and you come up, you're going to get me every time.
Sure.
It will happen because I'm going now off a reaction, right? Is it justified? I'm gonna say Kevin Peach will say yes, it is justified. Morally,
If there was never
morally-
any like presenting, if he was in the low ready the whole time, I don't
you're done.
think that's a good shoot. Like I don't.
yeah, if you're here like acting like you're about to come up, I'm putting one in you without question. But if
Okay,
you-
so
if
that's
it's
fair.
slung, if it's slung across you and you're like this, no hand on this one, it takes a lot to bring a rifle up. You know what I mean? Like I'm a pretty decently strong dude to come up like
Right.
this and get a shot off. But if you're hand on bottom, like two hands on, ready to go, it only takes
Yeah.
a quick second. You know, we do drills like that all the time.
It's
But
it's
look-
hard to tell from the video like where
It
his
looks like
hands
it's
are.
slung. It looks like his
Yeah.
right hand's on his pistol grip, and then his other hand he's talking with. Now, when
Kevin.
the body cam comes out, maybe, but
Yeah.
Kevin,
Yeah. You
you
good?
you have access to YouTube right now?
I do. Yes.
So there's a real controversial video. If you don't mind pulling it up real quick, it's with another veteran. You guys are cops. This is Florida.
Sure.
The veteran's name is Airman Roger Fortson. There's an actual video of it. It's there was a sheriff's deputy that was facing a manslaughter charge from the shooting. There's an actual body cam. That they actually have the shooting, which is intense, and that video from a veteran's perspective made me mad. Again, I'm very pro law enforcement, but
veteran
The-
always has your heart. It always, it always will. It will always will.
I'm again pro police, but I will always be pro veteran before anything else till I die. Pull that up, Kevin. I'm interested your guys' thoughts on that.
What's his what was the name again?
The veteran's name is Roger Fortson. I would just put in Roger Fortson body cam
Okay.
shooting. I'm curious your guys' thoughts on that one because that video is intense watching it. Basically, a door opens and it's just guns ablazing.
All right. Pulling it up here. Body camera shows fatal shooting of airman. Okay.
I have most of my veteran friends. I can't come across a single person who wasn't pissed watching that video. Again, it's hard because I was a cop for a little bit when I got out of the army, so it was hard. But I'm curious your guys' thoughts on this because I don't know where this is defensible. You guys tell me.
Sheriff's office, open the door. Sheriff's office, open the door. Step back.
Oh.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! 312, shots fired. Suspect down. Do not move.
Tyler's not gonna like me on this one.
No.
Sheriff's office. open the
I see
door.
both sides on this, and I'm.
What is he saying right now? Sheriff's office, open the door. Sheriff's office, open the door.
And that's what, exactly.
Drop the gun!
And there's
Alright.
been indictments of SWAT teams going into houses.
I hate this one.
Just not doing knock and announce, just kicking the door, dynamic entry, and pushing in.
Right.
Taking shots, shooting back, and it's like I didn't know there was a SWAT team in my house. Now I don't know what the call was. That's the big factor of it. What was the call? Why was the reason why that officer was there or the deputy was there? That's a big factor.
So I guess here's my question for you two. So, and again, I refer a lot of my experience because my whole time I was in, I really never got a taste of the regular army. So the different schools I went to, including the police academy, they always talked about you never stand in front of the fatal funnel in front of the door.
Yes.
So I guess again, not to Monday morning quarterback this incident,
but we are.
but we're going to. So I guess if I'm pounding on the door and the guy opens, I don't know. It's hard when I watch that being a veteran. I don't know.
I mean, 100% without question. But again, like, and me, I would like to be on kind of the cold side. So being on that, to be on that left side, or I'm sorry, the right side, to where if he opens the door, he has to actually come out. I can see part of his body compared to being on the left side of the door, which there was a rail there. He couldn't really go any further.
So
When that door opens, it's easy to get a gun out.
So you're in Florida, Peach. So last thing that popped up when I Googled it, I guess they are actively trying to prosecute the sheriff's deputy, because here's where the firestorm, I guess, with this came up, is they knocked on the wrong door. He wasn't even the door that they were supposed to knock on.
That happens.
That's why I was pissed off when I read about that, because now we have someone dead. So now, me personally, you don't get the protections of, I was there to do my. I have a huge problem with that, because if we apply that same, then we're just gonna go killing everybody. Like,
yeah, but law. Now this is the only thing. I hate saying the word, but caveat I'll throw at you. He still had a lawful reason to be there. It was a mistake. Just hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. A mistake that is tragic. Got it. 100%. How many times have you knocked on the wrong door, Kevin?
Oh, it's happened. Even if it's not your fault, you might get the wrong address from dispatch. You might just screw up the address. I don't know, but it happens. Yeah.
All the time. But the thing about it, common person, if Tyler, well, I knocked on your door. That during the daytime, not 3 o'clock in the morning, during the daytime, sheriff's office, open the door. That was me knocking. Sheriff's office, open the door. You can open the door with a gun? Because now you open the door with a gun. I have split seconds to either this dude knows the sheriff's office. In my head, this dude knows the sheriff's deputy. He has a gun in his hand. That's intent. I'm in fear. I'm going to make a decision, right? I have nowhere to run. I have nowhere to dip into, at least to the left. I don't know why I always go left. I'm going over a rail. It's unfortunate. It really is. I don't think charges will stick on that.
I wanted Tyler and Brent. I wanted Tyler and Brent to dissect that, because I don't think they have with that video. I think, to me, what's fair between you guys, law enforcement wise, is I think, and again, I understand your guys' dynamic, but then monetarily wise, that family should be getting whatever they ask for.
100%.
Because
He should not be charged. It's the sheriff.
Here's where I'm going to play.
Maybe not be a deputy anymore.
I'm going to play devil's advocate, though. I'm going to play devil's advocate for you, though. So I have real bad hearing loss from when I was in. So here's the devil's advocate argument. So someone could have been pounding on the door, and we don't know that individual's experience. I have PJs that I'm friends with when I was in, and I think of a buddy of mine I used to live with that would take sleep medication because he was all fucked up, excuse my language. And he'd wake up, let's say he woke up, and that's just how he answers the door. I just trying to, again, I'm pro law enforcement. I just, as a veteran, and then when I read that story further that they knocked on the wrong fucking door, the shit pissed me off, because it's like, now we have someone that's dead. And I guess too, the thing that, and again, not that it had anything to do with the shooting, but the family highlighted that the cop, I guess, was fat and out of shape. So they argued that. I don't know. I just watched that and was really pissed
It's irrelevant that guy's in the Air Force. Like, that is not relevant to this case at all. The news is playing that just to get the emotional reaction out of veterans. And no, it doesn't matter. The cop is fat, not out of shape at all. And like, this was clearly a mistake. I think it was a bad shoot, but I don't think that deputy should be criminally charged. Civilly, he's going to get his ass off.
Yeah, I was gonna say there should be no. Oh, we're only gonna that should go as far as that family feels like it needs to go. Because Kevin, if you know, Peach, you were in the Marine Corps. If you go over in Afghanistan and you're blast the wrong Haji, CID's putting you in handcuffs and you're going away. Yeah. If you shoot the wrong person over there,
it depends on your chain of command.
You're going. You know damn well if you blasted the wrong person over there, ain't no officer gonna back you up. Oh no.
There was a lot.
I know the military and the police shit's different, but
it's different, 100%.
But
things happen overseas. It's different.
There was a lot more accountability, I believe, in a certain aspect of the military. There's been plenty of times I was on post up in a hide. We had this tower with like cami netting on it, Anybody past 10 o'clock, I'm smoking. 10 o'clock at night. If you're out on the road digging, I'm putting around in you because we would get backweed all the time, right? So I would have that discretion. There's been plenty of times I just let people walk and a kid to walk down, but I had the adult males that would come dig and be like, hey, we're on the radio, hey, ready for shot, let it ride. Hey, I got one down, and give the grid where he's at. We sent a team out, hey, church IED, or he was just digging up, look, oh well, like we made it real clear to everybody out there every single night on loudspeakers. If you're out past X time, you're gonna catch a round, right? It was discretion.
You can dig in the middle of the road, like, you know what I mean? They're not doing
IED.
anything, right? Exactly.
Yeah. You were digging
For
first
sure.
guy digging the hole, second guy putting stuff in. Yeah.
I had read something on that, and this is and I'd have to go back and find the video, but one of that guy's, the veteran's family members, argued, I guess there was some video, and I'd have to go find it, of a cop that stopped someone, and the guy had his concealed carry permit, and I guess the thing where he had the gun in the middle like spontaneously came open, and the guy's hand went towards it, and the dude didn't get shot. So what the family basically was arguing is there was no attempt from word go to be like, don't do anything. And they tried to relate it to other police incidents, and obviously not everything is one stroke the same.
Right.
But I
Here's the
just
thing. Me and Kevin can go into the same situation, same setup. Me and him are going to handle it completely different.
Yeah.
Every time. And I could go back into it the next day and maybe handle it completely different. It's that mind. It's different training. There's so many aspects of it. There's stuff that I did. I trained more in my off time than the agency could ever give me.
So I'm pretty fortunate. Our agency trains a lot. You know what's not talked about a lot? You know when you handle a call the wrong way and you screw it up, and that feeling you have going home of just like, I fucked that up, and that is all you can think about.
I don't know.
Talk with Chris Lester. He was my supervisor.
Are Tyler or any of the anti-hero folks on here watching this?
Anti-heroes, yeah.
Okay, anti-hero. I don't know if you. I know me and these guys are talking about it right now. I'm very curious, Tyler and Brent, your takes on that shooting he just showed. You guys got to debate that on Thursday because I am genuinely curious. Obviously, Brent's shooting capabilities, even though we're talking about it now, I mean, that to me in the last couple of years, one of the more controversial veteran things that happened, at least that I had felt like I saw on the news, that was sad. Like Kevin and Pete is there anything?
Like that dude happened to be in the Air Force and he was a veteran. The news is using that to get you emotionally upset. There was that guy didn't go, hey, I'm an Air Force veteran, I have a gun in my hand. Like that wasn't he wasn't in uniform. They're saying it's a veteran because they want to get you emotionally all riled up like you are right now.
Now, if it called in, it's like, hey, I'm gonna be walking down the road. I'm a veteran. I need help. And he's
why Kevin? I think that way, and I'm not gonna say his name just out of respect for his family. We had an NCO that I was close with in my family in the 160th that died by police suicide. So. I'm not saying that, again, I know it was a mistake. My question for Kevin, you and Pete, is there anything from that initial watching of that video that you would have maybe, again, I hate the Monday morning quarterback a video like that, but is there anything there where you could have said in the moment, whether it's like,
we're gonna play real quick again,
like slide back and
Sheriff's office, open the door.
It's hard, man. I'm not there. I can't speak on it. I have no idea. Throw me in a scenario. It's
Sheriff's office, open the door.
saying one thing and doing something is completely different.
Step back.
Step back.
Drop the gun.
Quick draw though.
Drop the gun.
Real quick draw.
Yeah.
Drop the gun. 312, shots fired.
Mm.
Suspect down. Do not move.
Oh God. So I guess that was the same agency as the Acorn incident.
Acorn. Oh, shut up.
oh no.
Are you kidding? Are you seriously kidding?
No, that's what Tyler's saying.
Tyler, what are your thoughts, man? We got to know. You and Brent, even if it's 20 seconds, I just want some thoughts there on that.
Well, hopefully they'll pull it up. Kevin, I want to get into your shooting. I don't want to miss that because that's really what I want to talk to you about. All right, I'll go ahead now and pull up that news clip from it. You full screen it. second.
It shows the moment when Indian River County Sheriff's deputies shot and killed a suspect after detectives say the man kidnapped two women, holding one of them hostage.
This is crazy.
And WPTV News Channel 5 reporter Joel Lopez went to the Indian River County Sheriff's Office to learn more.
The Indian River County Sheriff is calling his deputies heroes after they
Oh, I think
confronted
it's the one where I tear up.
while
Damn
holding
it.
a gun to a
This news reporter, he's got some nice hair going on there.
Oh, yeah.
firsthand
How we
and
doing,
watch the
Florida, baby?
situation as it unfolds, but we do warn that some moments may be difficult to watch.
Exit the vehicle with your hands up.
A first look tonight at a deadly standoff.
Curtis, you are completely surrounded.
So that's Christopher
You have
Lester right there.
multiple firearms
Okay.
pointed at you. There is no way
If
out.
you want to pause it, let me
Body
know
cam,
anytime.
dash cam, and chopper footage recorded the scene. Two women being held hostage, rescued by Indian River Sheriff's Office in June.
Open the door with your hands up.
The man identified as
Oh, God.
42-year-old Curtis
Curtis
Kimbrough
Kimbrough.
Total Bible thumper there.
33-year-old woman and led authorities on a multi-county car chase that went through Indian River County.
You're a traffic stop, Kevin, right?
And Brevard County.
With that?
A witness described
You're a
the
traffic
scene.
stop?
First thing I saw was a car.
No, I was
flying
the
down
second
road,
car
and then
up until
sheriffs
Okay.
behind
one of the
them,
canines
and
got in there.
They ended up going around here. They went into the other yard over here.
The car then got stuck in sand.
What's an airplane doing there?
It's Brevard County's helicopter.
And deputies say Kimbrough
Oh, that
took
thing?
the other
That's from
woman's
Florida
arm,
stuff.
holding a gun to her
Yeah.
head.
I use that for cover at one point.
carrying somebody. He's using the person as a shield.
Kimbrough then starts
Whoa.
walking with the woman into a
This is
wooded area.
crazy.
Detectives say that's when an Indian River deputy shot at the suspect, leading to an exchange of gunfire. How many shots?
This is awesome. This is the first thing I noticed when I saw this video. And I don't mean to call anybody out, but this dude to the right is just standing up, throwing rounds down, while the guy laying down has two
That's
hands
Lester.
on the shield. That is
Chris Lester.
awesome. That dude, screw it. I'm taking this guy down
So
while there's
just
two
for
other
future
guys
reference,
hide behind the shield.
so that light to the right, that's
Okay.
that's where I'm at. That's me. That's where
Okay.
I'm at. Okay. Just for future reference.
Yeah, let me finish this up.
Fired, and by how many deputies is unclear, and we're not showing the moment gunfire
That
killed
dude's like
Kimbrough.
6'5".
Deputies say he
Clearly.
had a long felony record dating back 22 years.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Hold fire.
Both women were taken to the
there.
hospital for treatment. A month later, still no word on what prompted the hostage taking.
Nobody hurt, right? Yep, good.
And the other hostages secured.
The deputies, Indian River wouldn't say how many, were placed on administrative leave. Standard procedure into any investigation with a standoff or shooting, but we are told they have since returned to work. Reporting in Indian River County, Joel Lopez, WPTV, News Channel 5.
Thank you, Joel. Let's get back to you.
Nick,
So is there,
you guys good?
so Peach, with the shooting stuff, and maybe Kevin, my question for the both of you guys, and Peach with your shooting, at what point is there ever any anything from the feds where they get involved with any of that, or is that as far as
So
that was just something random I had thought about, because when I was in the police academy up here, we'd always hear from DAs and district attorneys, feds only get involved with something that's a slam dunk.
So just a little back of it. I was in a shooting 2 weeks prior to this one.
Oh.
So I got into a shooting, did my 2 weeks. 2 days later, after I got back from the shooting, we got into that one. Some agencies use FDLE here, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, to conduct their investigations. As state agency wise, for whatever reason, we do internal. That Brevard County one, the hostage one, we didn't even go grand jury. That was settled in 3 days. I was back to work. I had to go do a psych eval. Like, hey, whenever you want to go back to work, you could take a month off. I'm like, I need to go back to work. I can't sit at home. So some agencies bring in FDLE for the public view of external agencies coming in. Some don't. I guess that depends on the sheriff. I don't know how all that works. If it's something, I guess, too crazy, maybe, and it's like, maybe it's a political thing. Don't FDLE be like, we're gonna do this. So it just really just depends.
I just wasn't sure, because I remember with the whole I guess it is technically different than a shooting, but I remember that dynamic with the one assassination attempt with Trump when he was down in Florida. I know kind of the feds and the state seemed like we're maybe
That was
going
actually
back.
that was the second agency I worked at, was at Martin County.
Okay.
They got him down. But that was everybody and the mother. Like that was, I think, like 3 months before I actually got over there. But yeah, it just depends on. I mean, you got Secret Service, FBI, DEA, task force guys. They're all coming. Like it's for Trump. Like everybody's gonna go, But
Right.
it just really just depends.
All right. I'm going to pause you guys real quick because Tyler has answered your prayers, Tyler.
What do you mean when he say?
Video right here. Whether you assess whether you should be a cop or not. That's what sucks about being a cop, is that he knocked on the door and made a mistake as a cop. Mistake. It's not he got 1401. He was given 1401 by the manager. He made a mistake, right? This is what happens. This is what can happen when you make a mistake as a cop.
Oop.
When Amazon walks to your door and leaves your package on the wrong stoop, that's a mistake. When you have a regular job and you make a mistake, it's like, hey, Carl, you left this package on the wrong stoop, man. What are you doing? Come on, fix your shit, right? As a cop, you pick the wrong house, you kill somebody that comes to the door with a gun. That's a mistake as a cop. And when people ask me, like, should I become a cop? I'm like, it's this video right here, whether you should assess whether you should be a cop or not. That's what sucks about being a cop, is that he knocked on the door and made a mistake as a cop. Mistake. It's not he got 1401. He was given 1401 by the manager. He made a mistake.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler.
Yeah.
That's the breakdown.
So with the shooting thing though, for you guys both being cops, like is that by department policy how long you are out for like the investigation, and then are you guys paid then while you're out, or like if they think you did something foul, you're put away, you're out on no pay? Like I'm just curious, what's that look like, or is that department by department, Kevin and Peach?
For us, it's 2 weeks. You get in a departmental shooting, it's 2 weeks, and then like my department isn't going to investigate our own shooting. It's going to be the Ohio BCI, Bureau of Criminal Investigation, that's going to investigate, and maybe even another agency as well. Your own department's not going to investigate your own shooting. That's just dumb.
Conflict of interest there.
Welcome to Florida. It's just dumb. But again, like it just depends. Like ours was 2 weeks. My second one was I think I was pretty much out for like 3 days. It was, I mean, you look at the video, that is beyond justified. Like there's no
I agree.
There's so much missing in that video of what we knew already going into it, that like there's somebody, and there is, and thank God it wasn't this one. There was a video we did. A news crew came up. We had like this award ceremony down south for like Officer of the Year and all those crazy things. I got emotional in the video with the news camera, and
sure,
at the time I was like, fuck, man, I got emotional, but it was more because that could have ended. I was surrounded by my squad, Chris Lester. I had a guy on SWAT that at the time, like I was really close with. It could have gone either one of those. Like I thought in my head, what if I'm going to another funeral? That's not, fuck this dude. But if I'm going to one of our guys, that's what got in my head. It's like, this could have ended really bad. There's nothing cool about getting in a shooting. There's nothing, that was not a fun time for me whatsoever. There's nothing to brag about. There's nothing, it was one of those situations. It could not have gotten any better for us. And in a county, we have no idea where we're at. I've never been there. How nobody else got hurt besides the woman that got shot a couple times in her stomach from him, and then him.
She lived.
Pete, do you think, I'm just curious, because obviously people are going to give different responses. When you were in the Marine Corps, you had said you deployed.
Yeah, I did.
Do you think any of that? I don't know if you want to use the word or phrase muscle memory. Do you think any of that, as far as like, I don't want to use the phrase like smoothness, as far as like your reactions to stuff? Do you think any of that has helped you since you've been, been involved in, multiple shootings? Like, do you think any of that has assisted in a good way?
In a good way, a couple things, but those don't matter to me the bads. My first shooting, I shot 21 times. Take it for what it is, right? I learned from it.
Sure.
Scrutinize.
Did you reload?
You have yeah, but I didn't shoot the second one. I shot until he went down.
Okay.
I carried a staccato, so it was 21 and 1. I think it was 22 times I got shot. Now, at the time, I couldn't tell you that I did. I had no fucking clue, right? I shot until the threat went down. So
Yeah.
the
Okay.
way that shooting worked, basically the guy was in the back seat, just quick. He was in the back seat, he grabbed a gun. When he was told not to, as he was exiting the vehicle, as one of our guys was pulling him out, I was on the driver's side, he was the back right passenger. I said, don't reach for it. As he did, he went to go run. I came up over the car and I let rounds go. Couldn't tell you what hit. I have no idea. I just put rounds because all I thought was my zone partner and another guy that was on SWAT was going to get shot. So I'm like, I'm in fear. I need to end this guy right now. So I put rounds in his direction. Going back to the Marine Corps, right? I'm putting rounds in it. It was in a neighborhood, but there was a construction house. We were elevated. I was shooting pretty much into the kind of the ground.
Right, like a downward angle.
Into a crowd, right? I wasn't shooting into a crowd, but I put rounds in that direction. And
you're giving that perception maybe to the attacker. Hey, like there could be rounds coming this way, even though there's not. Kind of maybe that's where your thinking was.
No, I think it was I want to put as many rounds in him before he even rips one back at us. Because I had two guys on the other side of the car, and Chris was there. I didn't even know he was there. All he had to do was turn, which he transferred the gun from his left hand to his right and turned. And I would like to hope maybe those rounds coming at him didn't let him actually put that gun up and let rounds.
Sure.
Fly. I don't know. But that was a big hurt for me. So I said, okay, what can I do to fix this? And after getting chewed and chewed and chewed by shitty leadership and not, you got to think, I did 10 years as a combat instructor. Like I've shot in hundreds of thousands of rounds, ARs, multi-machine guns, Mark 19, sniper rifles, you name it. We had instructor development. So like the end of the cycle, we had to get rid of those 17,000 rounds. Yeah, I'm going to shoot them. I went back to, oh shit, I need to end this now. And once the threat was ended, I stopped, reassessed, and then we had a whole nother problem after that. But I think when it comes down to the smoothness, yeah, like I can pick things up tactically a little bit better. When it came down to room clearing, I think I was pretty decent at it. You got to have.
Oh, I'm sure that thought a lot.
He was behind me a lot too. He watched me kind of grow in the SWAT field, but it was easy to pick up. But again, I'm all worried about the bad stuff. Like I need to know, I need to fix this problem, and I did. It's like, all right, maybe we're gonna work on build drills, 6 quick shots, reassess.
Right.
What's a build drill? You know what I mean? I never heard that before. No, I want to shoot until he goes down. Well, this makes you more accurate. Okay. And I worked it. And I got better. And that problem went away. All right, what's the next problem?
Absolutely.
It took that critical incident for that to happen.
I guess I was thinking, Peach, the dynamic of like you've been to combat and the craziness of a shooting, kind of like, did your mind still seem kind of calm in those situations? Because going to combat, obviously, that's a very, unless you join the service, you're not going to get put in outside, maybe being a cop in those kind of situations. Like mindset wise, do you think hey, I've been to combat, so the shooting thing didn't get you frazzled? I guess that was more so my question.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. I was scared shitless.
Okay.
My stress went to my hands. I had the staccato mark, and I actually still have marks.
Oh, wow.
My skin has not recovered. I gripped that gun so hard. It just that's where my stress went. I would like to see what my face looked like, because I don't think there was much there, right? I was just like, you're mine. But my stress levels through the roof without question. And nobody can be like, besides that one dude putting the coffee cup walking around and like domes the dude at like with 2 rounds, like that dude's a savage, right? I'm not there, right?
So I want to again in the video. Where were you at? Like again in the kind of in the stack over.
So if you play it out real quick, it might go a little bit to the right. No, if you hit play from where we were at in the field, or if there's a little bit more of a outwards of the field. All right, so I am, if you see the most right guy in the road, I am up ahead, right there, up a little bit more into the grass, right there. That's right.
Okay.
So there was just like berm. I found, I'm pretty sure that's pretty much around that. If not, maybe I'm out more to the right a little bit more. I know I was kind of, they were coming directly at me. pretty much.
Okay. So
Everybody
what
else
kind of
was
distance do you think you were at? Because that seems like, I mean, it's hard to tell
about
from the
40 yards
feed.
when they closed.
I was going to say about 15 meters or so. Yeah. So did you have a good shot, like a good headshot, or?
I like to say I did.
Yeah, apparently you did.
So this was the thing. So the way it started, you'll see in the video, the guy comes up, one of our deputies comes up, and that deputy actually shot him already once prior. When he was walking backwards with him, he put one in his butt cheek or his hip or something and dropped him. He ended up continuing up. Where they were coming from, there's a pond back there. He was like drinking water. He was losing blood. He was drinking water. So they end up coming back out. He ripped one round at us. That's what got everybody down. And this whole area is like an undeveloped neighborhood, like streets, no street lights. We had 2 helicopters. We could not communicate. It was kind of like bouncing off each other. By the time we got the information, it was already too late. My radio was turning purple. It just didn't work for me, so I didn't know what was going on. The guy walk up. The guy who shot first, he's actually one of the team leaders on SWAT. Phenomenal shot, comes up, right in his chest, drops him.
Hell yeah!
I have a so at that agency we could use our own personal guns. So I carried a Staccato. I've had one for a very long time, and then I got a WMD rifle made for me in Stewart, which is just south of me. It had a 3-power magnifier on it. I love the gun. I had 3-power magnifier up. I see him get lit up. He drops. The girl I'm in front of them. The girl drops. I don't even see her in my sights. He pops up and turns, and I just put rounds in this kind of area.
Sure.
Away from her, right? Just in this type of area. Did I hit? I have no idea. Going back to it, would it have been better for me to put 1 round? Yes, without question.
Kevin, or Pete's outside of your like how often outside of work were you going to the range leading up to the shooting?
2 days a week.
Oh wow.
2. Yeah, it just we have access to Indian River County has probably one of the best training programs. And you can go to open range days and do as much as you want. And then I go to OK Corral and shoot competitions and everything too. So that light to the right there, that's where I'm at. That's my light of my right. Yep.
Okay.
Crazy part about it.
I love this picture right here. Like this dude's ready. Like this dude came ready to kill people. You know, to do.
I don't know who that was. I don't know if that was Richie Reeves, if that was Sebastian's.
But just look at the contrast. Someone with 2 hands on a shield laying down, and someone standing up in a shooting position, putting rounds downrange to kill the bad guy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because even Chris, he didn't even have his gun out. He was going to be, he was pretty much part of that rest team for it. But again, it goes back to just the leadership we had there at the time. Chris was, I think at the time, 9-year sergeant, maybe something like that, or 9 years total in. Phenomenal. The dude, the best cop, one of the best cops I've ever worked with. Very personable. Me and him, we had a line in the sand with me and him. We can go golfing, have a good time. When I came back to work, let me find you not calling him sergeant, right? Like I have a big respect thing for me. I'm a military dude. You don't have to tell me to call you by your name. It's gonna happen. Even when you tell me to stop calling you, nah, man, like it's not my realm. You pick up the rank, not me. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. There's a burden that comes with that.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, for you want to go from the beginning of how everything kind of gets started with it?
Yeah, man. Go ahead. Tyler, I don't know if you can go a little bit later tonight. I have to work, but not till 10, so I have a little bit more time than usual. I don't know if you have. I can probably go till like 9:15.
Yeah, this should be quick.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm just grabbing my.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, we got a teletype from, I think it was like Osceola County, that there was a gun, hostage, and shooting. And that was it. And never got sent anywhere. One of our really good dispatchers basically put it out and said, "Hey, you need to look at this." So we started doing a little bit of research. Curtis Kimbrough has stolen trailers and things we haven't even found yet. Still, probably just a menace to society. He had 2 residences in our county that he usually frequented, so we sent deputies there. at the time, I was probably a mile away from 95. I had a guy, which is our interstate, I had a guy who was sitting at 95 and the car passed by and was like, hey, I got the car. I flipped lights and sirens. Now, I probably was doing 130-ish.
Ah, that's moving. My highest is 120. 130 is moving.
Getting up to him because he started taking rounds. So this dude's ripping rounds out. We had a Sebastian K9 who cut off and took lead pretty much the whole time after that. I didn't take any rounds at all during that. That was before I got there, and he was kind of up ahead. So we basically chased him all through, up through Indian River County on 95, into Brevard County, and we started going through middle of the day. Like, this dude's still ripping rounds. I didn't know he was ripping rounds until I heard on the radio. I never saw it happen, but
Yeah, because you're going so fast. I'd imagine it would be difficult to even realize, unless it goes through a windshield or hits you. I'd imagine you're not hearing that.
But the deputy who was up front, really good dude, phenomenal cop. He literally, I think his body cam was like, his cup is like in his lap. He's got the radio and he's spitting dip into the cup and shooting at me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's driving. So
that's a professional right there.
No, 100%. So we're getting into another county.
Oh, that pussy's in shit.
Exactly. Our handhelds aren't working anymore. Once we get up there, they're gone. They don't work.
Sure.
So we're going to our car radios. I had one of the SWAT guys call me on my phone, and I'm like, "Hey man, what's up?" He's like, "Where you at?" I'm like, "We're passing mile marker." He's like, "Yeah, you guys are coming over the radio roll." I was like, "Crap." I was like, "Yeah, we're about to get off somewhere. I don't know, but we're in Brevard County." He's like, "Where?" Like, I have no idea, dude. I'm just following, right? So we end up going through the whole thing. You see, he goes through this like graveyard of like planes and this junk, right, all the way through. He gets stuck in some sugar sand. We're sitting there for probably a good hour, maybe. I have to look by, but probably a good amount of time calling out to him. We set everything up. Brevard County shows up. Just disaster. Like, these dudes made it horrible. It's real good here in a second.
Are you, Pete, real quick question. Are you saying, I lived in Florida for a little bit, are you saying Broward differently than how I would think to say it?
No, yeah, Broward, which is south, Brevard County.
Okay, sorry, I was thinking you were saying, man, was I saying Broward County wrong the whole time I lived there?
Brevard is like Palm Bay area, Melbourne. It's
okay.
The space station is at Titusville,
okay.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
So at one point I was up on a plane, like viewing down on the passenger side. Brevard County. So Chris has incident command. He's running. He's got the radio, whatever. I get handed a 40, and I'm like, which rounds do what? Like I'm just gonna set this here. He ends up throwing the girl out of the car and talking with us for a minute. The girlfriend's got, she got shot in the stomach a couple times. He goes back in the car. We keep seeing this like amber light. We're like, what the hell is this doing? Come to find out, he was smoking meth in the car.
Oh God!
Just ripping. That's
a great combination.
Getting it right. So he ends up coming out gun to head, walking backwards. One of the SWAT sergeants pops him in his hip. Great shot. Again, he was a phenomenal shot. Drops him. He ends up getting back up and going through the woods. The woods are like, or the tree area where it was at was maybe like waist to shoulder height. Some points a little bit over your head, but it was very sporadic. We set up an arrest team. We go up, a rescue team go up. I actually pick up the woman, bring her back to Brevard County, to the deputies that were there, because it was like underneath the fence. Carried her. I'm covered. Carried her, bring her up. She gets sent off. We had an ambulance stage. So we're like, all right, we need to make two teams. So we made two teams. I got put with Brevard County. Chris and the other guys got put with most of the Indian River guys, K9 and stuff like that. Now, remember, we don't have radios to talk with Brevard.
Right.
I was relaying. I was like, all right, hey, just listen to me. And these guys were like, yeah, whatever, dude, it's our county. All right, man, I'm okay, right? So I'm like, hey, we need to slow it down. They're getting ahead of, or they're behind us, or whatever. Just trying to communicate, keep us on the line. So if this dude pops up, we can skirmisher him and end him, right? They weren't listening. I had 3 guys from Brevard County who's like, hey man, fuck this. I'm going back to the car. What?
Huh?
What? I'm not kidding. I have no reason why. They just did. And I told Chris and Rita, hey man, I just had 3 guys leave. Where'd they go? Back to their car. All right, just keep pushing. Cool. So we get all the way up to that point where he said the shooting happened. And afterwards it was, he's handcuffed. The chick funny part, the chick he had hostage ended up having a warrant.
I mean, not shocking, but yeah.
So after they did the whole thing and figured everything out, they had to take him to jail.
You imagine?
Hell yeah.
You gotta go to jail for a warrant.
Once everything was said and done, I got told, I knew, hey, don't touch your rifle.
Right.
The captain showed up. The SWAT team showed up. Like, hey guys, like a little too late, bud. I was like, I just want to go to my car, and I had gummy bears. I think a Gatorade. That's all I wanted. I was tracking to the well. That's all I wanted. So I get over there, and they have like this caution tape set up, and like all the police tape and everything. But it was like my car. I had a Charger stuck in soft sand, camera still rolling. I go to my car, and some detective from Brevard County is like, "Were you just involved in the shooting?" I was like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm Detective so and so." Cool, dude. I'm getting in my car. He's like, "Don't touch that car." Yeah. Okay. So
Where the fuck were the shooting, detective?
And what's good about what was really good about Indian River County is they had a program. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but basically you get into something, I can make a phone call and that person's coming. So the guy I called was already on route. He already knew.
Like a union rep or like a?
No, like personal, like support. Like this is my
okay, awesome.
This is my dude, right? He brought me Burger King, like ready to go.
Oh hell
he
yeah!
already knows, like because he was there 2 weeks prior when I was like, hey man, I just want a cheeseburger. That's all I want. I don't care about you. I just want a cheeseburger. He already brought it, had everything going. It's like a peer support thing, right? When you're involved in a critical incident, or if like a veteran suicide, you can call another veteran. They'll come help out, hang out with you.
Sure.
Do whatever. Agency will pay money, put you in a hotel, your family, whatever it is, right? So he's there with me. This dude's 6'5", linebacker from Miami University back in the day. He's like, hey, Pete, just grab your stuff. Let's get out of here. All right, so I grabbed my stuff. Detectives still run this cocksucker. All right, well, I'm getting out of here. So I left. The two sheriffs then come together. Sheriff Flowers and I remember the big dude's name for Brevard County. And they start going at it.
Of course.
I'm sorry. It was actually my captain and the Brevard County started back and forth. This is my jurisdiction. You're not taking my guys.
So real quick question for you guys. I don't mean to jump in, Peach, just that way I can understand chain of command. Obviously, you guys are all both veterans. So if you have a situation like that where it's two counties, two sheriffs, then who then is the next top dog above those two? Let's say there's this dispute between the two. Does it come down to state, like attorney generals in the state? Like who then?
No,
like you know what I'm saying from a command thing? Like let's say something's kind of on even playing field between two commands there. Like who, or is there not really? Sorry to put you on the spot. That was just something I thought of when you were talking about that.
That's a good question.
Boots on the ground, right? Boots on the ground at that time was the sheriff from Brevard County, sheriff from Indian River County.
It's gonna be a pissing contest. That's the answer. It's gonna be a pissing contest.
Who's bigger? You know what I mean? That's all.
Okay, because up here, the PA State Police, a PSP shows up, they can kind of just take everything over if they want to, because that's just the way it is here in Pennsylvania. But I was thinking when you were talking about that, I was like, well, if it becomes a dick swinging competition and the dick swinging doesn't stop, who's the bigger dick that comes in and says enough?
So like they made it pretty good because like they don't do interviews right away because it doesn't make sense, right? I'm not going to remember certain things a couple days after. So they said, hey, we're going to take you back to our substation.
Unless you're Tim Kennedy.
Right.
So I had to throw that in there.
It definitely makes sense. They had to take pictures of my clothes, so I had blood all over me. They took pictures of my gun. They took my gun. Brevard County did because it happened in that county. My car ended up staying there because it was stuck in sugar.
Can I stop real quick? Do you want to explain why they take your gun? Because I don't think people realize this.
So actually, no, I'm not a box anymore. Because the day I left Indian River County, they gave me back my Cicada. They kept that thing for 3 years. But no, they keep it. They do function tests of it. They just ballistics, the full 9. Make sure the rounds that they find on the ground, that's the round, the firing pin. There's a lot of other things they probably do as well. But no, they took my full rifle, put in a rifle case, the full 9. Just because
did they give you a gun? Did they did your supervisor or someone else give you a gun? Because you just got into a shooting, you want to feel safe and right.
Nope,
Okay.
They gave me one right there. Well, not the rifle. When I got my pistol, they literally handed me a cig right there.
Awesome.
Right holster out the door. But with the rifle, they take it. They have to look at the ammo counts, the full. I think I shot 4 or 5 rounds that one. They do all that, take pictures of me because again, it's still a crime. We still killed somebody. At the end of the day, it's still homicide. it is what it is, right? Until
Now, do you have a grand jury system that's going to go to where if they find you like
So
a
that
true
one
bill or
didn't-
no?
Yeah,
No,
that one
okay.
didn't go to grand jury at all. We got a phone call. I did my interview like 2 days later or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to do an interview. Did my
Mhm.
interview with the Brevard Captains, came down. I had 2 detectives, I had my union rep, just kind of sitting there, went through everything. And then my it was my sergeant at the time. One of the sergeants drove from Brevard County, grabbed my gun, came all the way to Fort Pierce, which is like a good hour and a half.
Wow.
Knocked on my door, said, hey man, here's your rifle. Cool, thanks, bro. Like, go back to work. All right, I'm going back to work.
Hell yeah.
So, but I think the biggest thing there for as much as everything that happened, we did the best that we could. You know what I mean? And again, I did nothing compared to what a lot of other guys did. I was just a small piece of the puzzle. The leadership there was phenomenal.
Mhm.
Now,
Good.
after the fact, this is where the leadership failed for me.
Hmm.
I did a DUI one night. It was like 2 nights after I got back from the shooting. Did a
Okay.
DUI. I was a big DUI guy. I don't know why. I like doing them. Easy. Took you to jail. I get a phone call. And it always starts like this with this guy. Hey, bud, where you at? I just got out of jail. Yep, I just got out of jail. Hey, behind target. Okay. So I wrote, hey, John, what's going on? It was my lieutenant on the road, and this sergeant was acting.
Okay.
Or he was filling in the spot because Chris was still on leave or something like that. And this dude lets me have it. He starts saying, I'm saying all of this shit that I shot this dude in the head. I did this, I did that, I did that. I was like, okay. And then he's like, just let you know, this is a sergeant to a deputy conversation. Now, if you know me, which you guys don't really know me yet, but if you know me, you would never have to say that because every word out of my mouth is sergeant, sir. I'm very big on that.
For police work, real quick for you guys, is the DUI thing kind of like, I guess this is going to sound extreme. Kevin, you're still in some, I don't know if it's still retarded like this, but is in police work, Peach, is a DUI like a death sentence for your career like it is for the military? Because active duty, like when I got out of the Army, before I got out, if you got a DUI, active duty, you were smoked. That was it. See you later.
It very much so depends on the department and the situation.
How much they
you're
can
in.
cover up. Who does it? Is it me or is it the captain?
Well, is this someone in probation or is it a 20-year veteran having a bad day after a shoot?
What's your guys' thought on that being active cops? Because I could just real quick, mine's quick couple seconds. My thing with the DUI thing is it a mistake? Yes. Drinking and driving. Hey, you made a mistake. Do I think someone should get kicked out of the military or lose their job as a cop? Fuck no.
I don't think so.
I think that's like way too like.
And see what happens. But again, it depends on how it happened. What was the attitude during the encounter? Was he a dickhead?
Okay.
Sure.
Was he unmoral? Like, hey, if I just handed you pull me over, hey man, just give you a heads up, I'm intoxicated. Take me. I'm a cop.
Kevin, you're a senior NCO. Is that still the standard across the Army from kind of like, not to put you on the spot, I'm just curious, is that kind of the standard?
So I don't think I can talk across the Army being in the National Guard because
come on, man. You know what I mean. I'm sure you have rumblings, you hear things throughout the military. It can't be too much different.
I got guys who have DUIs that like, they just got demoted. Yeah. But then again, like, see, and here's what I'm saying is, are we short on numbers? Are we over on numbers? Do we need people out? Like all these, like peacetime Army and Army when there's too many people, they're completely different things.
That's true.
Yeah, they'll kick you off for a PT test if we're in peacetime with too many guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think
hey, your neck's a little bit too wide for height and weight. See you later.
That's not a thing anymore, actually.
It's
not
not
the neck. Yeah, it's just waist.
So I think that the point I was going to with that was this dude chewed my ass over just I had good resources that told me this. Okay, so you're telling me I said all these things. Who said it? Well, I can't tell you.
Right.
You're full of shit.
Right.
Or those people are full of shit. And that's how cop work works. Nobody wants to be the dude, whatever. I say, bring that person. I said this. Bring that person right here in front of me and let's see if he says the same thing. Right.
Yeah.
Now talk about that support group and that thin blue line we were talking about. I thought I could trust certain people because after that shooting, I was a little messed up because the fact of like, I just got into
Rightfully so. Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen to me. I look like a shit magnet.
And again, what was the time between both your shootings?
2 weeks.
That's
2 days.
that's insane.
Yep. So I brought somebody, 2-3 people close to me, like, hey, I need to talk to somebody. I don't have anybody to talk to. This is what happened in my eyes. I don't know what's going to happen. Right.
So you
Right.
use the things available. You use the things available to you, and it failed you in a way.
I used people that I thought that were close to me and my circle. And it failed. And those people ran their mouths and played the telephone game. So when I got to a sergeant, that sergeant chewed my ass, who was the same sergeant that did the initial shooting.
If you want to say names, you can say names. If that's on you. Okay.
Yeah, he knows who he is. He'll be watching. I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
So a couple weeks later, we got together. I was in my own truck. I was at the station for whatever reason. He's like, hey, man, can we meet up? Yeah, let's meet up. So I meet up. Like, hey, what's up, dude? I'm in regular clothes. I ain't playing that game. What's up, man? Well, I just want to make sure we're good. Like, look, man, I just want to be real clear. You don't need to talk to me like that. I'm big on like that first time. If you, I've had my ass chewed. Like, I'm not worried about getting my ass chewed. I'll take an ass chew. My ass is chopped.
Oh.
I'm not worried about it. Right?
Yeah.
Not at all. But it's all about your approach. And you fucked that up. Like, you lost all respect right there. Like, it's simple as that. We're good. If you ever need anything, I'm here. You ain't got to worry about that.
Yeah, for sure.
But the side conversation, the personal stuff is over. We're done. Because I don't trust it. Because you trusted other people that now you found out was BS. But you didn't right? Like, and that's cop world. That's what the cop world is. You have to be real careful of that thin blue line. And the thin blue line, in my eyes, as we were talking about, Kev, the thin blue line isn't the deputy, or isn't that the line between evil and cop world. No, the thin blue line is myself and the fucking command. Because they're that's one way or another. Whether you're a great cop and you get all the drugs, get all the guns, you're still looked in the eyes of, man, this dude's causing a lot of stuff. Like, yeah, he's put bad news in jail, but he's causing a lot of tension. The dude that sits beneath the tree all night, he'll get promoted.
Yep. We could go into that, but that would be a whole nother episode, to be honest with you.
But that's what I get about that thin blue line. Like, that right there showed leadership real early of like, that's the last.
Sure.
And it sucks because that I needed that. I needed help. And Mike was a big piece of that for me. Big talk to him and his wife. Huge aspect of my police career. And it just sucked not having that leadership there, you know?
Absolutely. I think it's really nice in law enforcement when you have leadership that is prior military. Because you kind of get the game, and you kind of you can relate, like you're on the same page, you know? Yeah. Like, nothing's personal. You could yell at me 15 minutes ago and we'll go hang out later. Like, I get it. I messed up, whatever. I've been there. I've screwed up. I've gotten yelled at. And then 10 minutes later, walking to the gym. Right.
And like,
I've been in leadership positions to where I yell at this dude for not doing something I said. And then 15 minutes later, we're walking to the gym because he screwed up.
There are people that can't draw that line in the sand. Right?
Absolutely there are.
You were my supervisor and we went to go drink. And afterward, I don't do shit you say. It's because, no, man, you're my boy. Why would I do that? You're my boy. You should do that. You should be the one that's pushing this because it's my agenda.
Right.
That's a boy. That's right there. That's my go-to dude. You know. So
it's
really great.
Is Pete, you're obviously in the military. Is that kind of one of them things in police work? Kind of similar. Again, Kevin, don't take this as a shot at you because you're a senior NCO. But is that kind of one of them things? Kind of like, I don't know if the Army ever will be able to fix it because obviously we as human beings have our own individual ways of thinking. Is that kind of one of them things similar to the Army, where like not so much wistful thinking, but like I'm trying to think how to word this. Like there's only so many good NCOs for all of the really fucking bad ones that ruin it for the rest kind of dynamic. Like, you get what I'm saying there? Like,
no, what's good about the Army, or what's good about the Army and the Marine Corps, at least for me, right? I had my squad or my platoon or my company I was a company gunnery sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't give a shit about anybody else. It wasn't my problem. Golf company can be doing whatever they want. But guess what?
Yeah.
If I instilled in my leaders what my expectations were and I let them run the show and I just guided them, it's a type of leadership style. There's some gunnies out there that would just demand respect, this and that. It's like, yeah, your guys we're Marines. We're gonna eat
Absolutely.
browns. We're gonna do stupid shit.
So
But-
Peach and Kevin, what's the difference then with the promotion stuff then from police to military? Like, is it kind of like what me and Kevin talked about a couple weeks ago that got people fired up as the police work thing? Like, again, Kevin, do not take this, or you, Peach, as well, to take this as a shot as an NCO, because I don't know how the Marine Corps is. But is police work kind of one of them things? I did SSD1 like you do in the Army. I went to WLC, or I went to ALC or SLC.
It varies so
NCO.
much. I keep saying this over and over and over again, but it varies so much between departments. You can't compare a 3,000 man department when it comes to promotions to a 30-man department. Those large departments are going to be way more check the block than, and the smaller ones are going to be more political. Just to the nature of the beast.
So,
But there's
so,
still-
it is,
still tests,
so it is
tests, yeah.
it is similar to the military in that regard in some ways, because I mean, if you hit your time in service, you do what you need to prerequisite to be an NCO. I mean,
Yeah, but you get tested, right? You get tested in that
Right.
job, and if you don't,
That's the
pass,
difference.
Everybody sees
Right.
it, and then guess what? You're going to the armory, or you're going to be the company commander's bitch, or you're going. There's places to put you, like right. But when you're a cop, if it's political, right? For example, Chris Lester was on the #1 lieutenant and the lieutenant spot for 3 years, 2 years before he got it, and we're like, what is going on? All these other people started getting promoted. We're like, this doesn't make any sense. This dude's a stud.
Right.
This dude's the best sergeant we have. It became a political thing, and then he finally got promoted to lieutenant. And they're like, we should have done this years ago. Well, yeah, no shit. But again, it's in the Army and the military. You can put them into. They'll find a place for you. Like we'll find, and we can give you
Yeah.
orders to wherever we want. If it's not our battalion's problem, we're sending another one.
And you, in the military,
that
you
is true. That is true. We'll
It's-
send them away to the undesirable land of people we don't want.
It's not a good thing because, like, why not all the NCOs get that dude together and try to at least help a little bit? Like, if I had a staff
Right.
NCO that was just not cutting it as an instructor, I bring him in like, hey man, you're fucking this up, this up, this up. You cannot do this. This is why we're in front of studs. I have 30 students that are corporals and sergeants that are seeing you do what you're doing. You're gonna tell them they don't know
absolutely.
what's going on? No, we need to get you out of here. If this ain't for you, or you need to step up your shit, figure it out. You can't tell that to cops. You can't do that. You cannot do that.
Right. There's, and I think the biggest thing in the military is you can hide people places to where like they do some dumb job somewhere and no one's going to see them. And they're going to be out of the way. Right. Like, for example, like sometimes, like I used to be an instructor. I used to teach combat engineer school. And if you were an instructor, you either knew your shit and that's why you're there and you wanted to be there, or it's because they didn't like you. They didn't want you to be a squad leader. You're an E6. Go teach and just get out of here, out of the way. And so there's places you could put shitty leaders in the military.
Okay. I could think of an example when I was at airborne school. There was a guy, I forget where he was from. He's from I forget what special operations unit he was from, but one of the cadre at airborne school that was big Army was like, this is the place where you go if you're not cutting it where you're supposed to be. They sent him here to kind of disappear. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Positions like that. When the police, there really aren't those.
That makes sense what you guys are
positions.
saying.
You're going to be in a squad car. You're going to be in front of the public. Something's going to go wrong. It's either you have it or you don't. Like and again, at the end of my whole thing, I didn't have it for that county, at my last agency. I didn't cut it for them. See ya. Have a good one. I'm not changing who I am. Like I'm still the same street cop that Mike taught me to be, that I tried to be. And there we got real liberal. I will not do this.
Peach and Kevin, did you guys in your careers at all? Because I feel like I noticed this when I was at the police academy up here in Pennsylvania. I felt like I got animosity from folks that were not prior military and the folks of us that were veterans. I just something I found very unique. Like when I was at the police academy, some of the folks that were not veterans almost were like bitter towards us that were. Granted, we get more preferential like points for getting hired up here because of that. But they I don't even know how to describe it to you. It's almost like a distaste that like
I think a lot of the guys that you were in the academy with were like the tough kids or the kids that got bullied when they were in high school and they never bullied anybody. So now they have me, like I was a class commander, stupid, but I was a class commander in the police academy. So I was telling high school kids at 30 years old what I wanted them to do. Maybe 15 minutes early. And then when you weren't, I chewed your ass. Kids never had their ass chewed.
Right.
This is the thing. I just don't want to get yelled at by the drill instructors. Like,
Right.
And it's funny, I end up going back to being a drill instructor. But it's that you're playing with that whole different, I hate saying it, but different times. You
Have you guys though in your careers though ever come across that? Like even at your departments, maybe been at, you don't have to give specific examples, but someone was kind of like, like maybe different towards you because Kevin, you were a senior NCO and other Kevin,
It's
you were
not.
also.
It's not that. It's being in the National Guard and the fact that I still deploy, I still have drill, I still do arm. The 1 year I was gone, more than I worked the road, and so I don't necessarily blame people because it kind of messes with the schedule. I get it, but I'm not gonna let that affect me. I'm gonna go to Romania for 3 weeks. I'm, gonna go to aerosol school. I don't care. Like you can be mad at me for it, but I don't
Mine
care.
was
So
more on the SWAT team. That was my big thing. Was guys on the SWAT team were like, you would think it would be like higher expectations because like, hey, you should know this, you should know this, you should know this, right? And I did. I was like, all right, like rifle, got it, like no big deal.
Right.
But it was more of like, let's test him more than we should as a new guy on SWAT that doesn't know SOPs. And it's like, I don't know this stuff, guys. It's like, it's the military, you know what I mean? But then you see guys acting like SWAT team is military. It is not. Like it's sexy, got it. But there's a line, and there's operators, and then there's operators. And I wasn't even up in the operator spot. I was a basic grunt dude. Did some cool stuff. But these dudes are acting like they're way up here.
Does it bother you the SWAT guys call themselves operators nonstop? I find it funny.
They want, man. Like, I got Mike's little SWAT boy thing right here. So.
Oh, nice. That's good. All right, so we're at an hour 15. This has been an awesome show. Kevin, you're honestly welcome back anytime. And
Kevin, we got to get. I want to try to set this up, Peach, because I think you would be. Sorry to interrupt, Kevin, but Peach, I think you'd be a good person. I don't know if you have the same thoughts, but I debated a SWAT guy in Jersey, and I'm just curious if you guys, if I got to find a way to get him on because he had some interesting takes about SWAT and police work versus the military, and I feel like maybe you know what I'm talking about, Kevin. I feel like that would be a good show because he basically, in so many words, was like, "You military guys are just out shooting random things overseas." I'm like, no,
it's ridiculous. The idea that the military gets go overseas and just anyway I start blasting is so insane and ridiculous.
But there was times of that. There was not my time. Illusion.
Not my time.
Anybody died, right? Like it is what it
Well,
is.
the was different because they put the city under siege and they warned people and got people. They did it right.
But for the outside looking in, if you don't know that, yeah, we went there.
What was that book? What was the book I read in Fallujah? I can't think of it now.
Or like the John Chapman situation where that dude's storming a hill. Like that's different. Or trying to hit a bunker. That's a little different when all rules are out the window. But
right, we're doing presence patrols. There's a really interesting nexus between like the counterinsurgency that we did overseas and like community policing. It's eerily similar. I don't know if you would agree with me on that or not.
Yeah.
Like the hearts and mind things, it's really no different to where in counterinsurgency, it's almost the exact same thing as community policing, just on a different scale.
Well, we called it community profiling. Think about it. Like, what are you doing in the streets of Afghanistan? I'm looking for that middle-aged male, young male that can carry a weapon. You're my eyes. You're my eyes, 100%. What do you think policing is? I'm just gonna stop there.
That's all right.
There's no difference. But God forbid,
But the idea of like you're trying to win the hearts and minds of the people and build up the community to stop people from recruiting into terrorism, it translates right into you're trying to secure a city so you stop people from going into gangs. I would say that
you make that traffic stop and on MLK Boulevard, which we had one in the river, just like any other shithole place has. You do a traffic stop. You get called. Everybody drives by. Why you fucking with him? Why y'all messing with him? Dude, he's got 6 guns and a kilo in the car.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they don't know this, but again, it's looking at that outside image. How do you get the hearts and minds and still do goon stuff?
It's right. It's a balance. You're absolutely right. You kind of have to have, if you want to go do goon stuff, but you almost have to have another like touchy feely unit that does touch and feely things. You know what I mean?
I'll go to touch and feely stuff all day. Like I can.
Right.
I wasn't the best goon at all. I learned as best as I could, but I'd
Sure.
go to the veteran calls. After veteran calls, I'd be in tears, man. Like those
absolutely.
those hurt. They hurt pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
At some point in my life, I was at that point, maybe not to the extreme, but I've had
In some way, shape, or form, absolutely.
Exactly. And then I would go to little old grandma to get kitten out of a tree. I can change that, but there's some people who can't. That need to just. It's like you can't do that, dude. You have to be able to play both parts. When that big crowd comes, and you have that dude that's yelling in your face. Hey, man, I'm here for you. Whenever you're done yelling, I would like to talk to you. Not like never fall up.
Pete and Kevin, real quick. Do you guys? I think maybe it was Tyler on Anti-Hero went on a rant about this, or maybe it was another podcast I watched. Do you think that's something police should be doing? Like if an old lady calls and says, "Hey, I can't get this jar of whatever unscrewed. Can you guys come here and help me out?"
Yeah, why not?
If you're not doing anything else,
if you can do 2 ways. You can get it on body cam, right? Let your community affairs know. Pull the body cam, post it on social media. Look at us helping this little old lady. Good review, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen in a week where something really bad happens and you got all these good things leading up to it. Or you just had something really bad happen and now you're fishing for all the good body cam videos of you doing good.
That's true. That's true.
Right. It ain't going to take any time for me to open this thing for her or whatever it is.
Right. At the end of the day, you're also the city. Your job is to also serve the city. And if it's between watching Netflix or paying Candy Crush, is I even still think Candy Crush on your phone underneath a tree, just help the old lady with the jar of peanut butter. Yeah. All right. I got to plug the sponsor real quick. Sender Brand. They do supplements. They do sleep supplements. They do brain health supplements, pre-workout, and much more. Use code GOG for 30% off. Again, GOG for 30% off. I do have to go into work at 10, so I have to get ready here.
One last thing. Yeah. Any of you motherfuckers that are watching, I'm the one who come up with the conspiracy theory for the Tim Kennedy Secretary of Defense thing. You're not getting credit. You're not getting fucking credit for it. I'm sorry. So
I'm gonna clip this and put that in the comment. I got back. I was like, "Are you trying to say I'm TKing?" How did I even put it? Are you saying I am TKing you in the TK story? I think he at least found that funny. Kevin, you're welcome back anytime. If you want to come back in the next week or two or shortly, I want to hear about why you left law enforcement. I think that's interesting to share because you gave some pretty good stories, and it seems like it's something you're passionate about still. I don't know if I'm wrong on that or yes. So I would love to hear that story. Tyler, always good talking to you. Anybody have one last thing?
So I just became a personal trainer. Please check out my Instagram. I'm willing to help people as much as I can. I'm still building my profile. So if anybody's overweight, cop stuff, you need to get fit for SWAT team trials, military, come bring it my way. I can help you get to your goal with no charge at all. So are you web based? Are you personal based or? So I actually just got hired by one of the local gyms. I'll be a personal trainer with them, but I'm going to do stuff on the web based too. Meal plans, I'm a nutritionist. I have all these certifications and stuff. So
awesome.
Even you guys need help with anything, just let me know. I'm always here.
Awesome. Appreciate it. And I recently started a solo news show that comes out Saturday early afternoon, late morning. Check that out as well. But all right, guys. Appreciate talking to you guys.
Yeah, man.
We'll see you guys next week.
You guys both stay safe out there, man.
Stay dangerous.
Yes.
Stay goonish.